Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the ALFA ROMEO F122 Road to Glory here on F122 of course. Now, before we get into this episode, this is obviously something different on the channel. It's the first real F122 series that we're doing. And basically this series is going to take us from, well, now until we win the Constructors and Drivers standings. Valtteri Bottas will be our teammate. Those are the tracks ahead: Bahrain, Australia, Miami, Spain, Azerbaijan, Canada, Silverstone, Austria, France, Hungary, Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, Mexico, Brazil, and the UAE. So we start this episode doing some R&D, of course, some durability upgrades and some powertrain upgrades. Also chucked in a chassis upgrade there. So basically, I think for the first season, I'd class this as probably like a more of a mid-tier sort of a car team, but we didn't really start off on the best foot here.
So the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Yeah, so we have a failure on a couple of our R&D, which isn't the best way you want to start, really, is it?
Hello folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for this, the inaugural round of the 2022 Formula One World Championship. And I've got to say, it feels great to be back. As is tradition, there is something of an air of a first day back at school on arrival here, but it's more than that, because the new era of Formula One has arrived, and with it, the eagerly anticipated new car regulations, which have been designed to help promote better racing. With clean sculpted lines, swooping rear and front wings, which should allow cars to follow each other more closely, new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres, the return of ground effect, and a reduction of aerodynamic physical adornments, the new cars look strikingly different, all while improving safety and pushing the limit of technical ingenuity. So then, which teams have interpreted the rules most effectively, and which drivers will adapt to their new car the quickest, leading the charge against the rest of the pack? Only time will tell. As always, we can't wait for this season to begin, but for now, from us,
the session has drawn to a close, so let's review our
So guys, I actually did the first little practice of the season. We had a run out on the mediums here, and we got P7. We were faster than Daniel Ricciardo, who was in the mediums, so we'll take it. I think our lap wasn't too bad on the mediums. Felt like, yes, we had room to improve, but it wasn't that bad. We were ahead of Nicholas Latifi and Ricciardo, who were also opting for the mediums for practice. But anyway, this is the beginning here. Quali. Obviously, we are going to be doing full quali. Also, the AI is going to be set to 75 for now, just because I'm just getting used to the game and stuff like that. But yeah, this is our lap, and we're going to dissect it right now. So we spot the 50, turn just in time around the corner, hook it round for turn 2 there, and make sure we get on the DRS relatively quickly. Going down these straight again, you've got to sort of spot that kind of 50, try and brake in time for it, get the car hooked round. Now this little S section I had a little bit of trouble with here, but I felt like it could have gone worse, but it also probably could have gone better here, riding a little bit too much of the curb round there, but we managed to get it hooked round. I think we were on course for a decent lap. Lance Stroll with a 132, not 132, or 134.5. Ricciardo went quicker than him with a 132.257. But yeah, it wasn't too bad of a lap here. On this straight, he carried a bit of speed. Russell also improved. He almost, I think, a second ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, good lap by him. Carried a lot of speed through here. Obviously, you don't really want to touch that inside curb, otherwise you'd probably be going spinning. So I tried managed to resist that. But yeah, down this little straight as well, trying to carry as much speed as we can for the last turn here of the lap. And again, you have to spot that 50, hook the car around, and down this little straight. Tried to maximise the traction out the corner as much as I could on the DRS early. It would actually be pole ahead of Albon, Vettel and Russell. So I was pretty darn happy with that lap. After everybody went out, it ended up being P5 and P6 on the grid then. Valtteri Bottas just slower than us. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. We did go out for a second run out, but we didn't get faster. But I was pretty happy with that. P12, we'll take it. Sort of in the pack and through to Q2 here. And this was our first run out here of Q2, trying to get the car fully registered here, down this little straight, reaching up to 200 miles an hour. So the cars are sheer much slower. They have a lot of different feel, very different feel, so I tried my hardest here to try and carry as much speed out of the corners and get the traction that you needed to get. I'm not going to show you this full lap here, but yeah, we had a decent lap so far. I think we took the little S section a little bit better, and really got some decent traction out of that corner. And yeah, we didn't touch the inside curb here as well. So yeah, this lap was looking pretty clean. A little bit of a mistake there. I was a little bit never mind. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to fully commit on that corner, so that probably lost us a little bit of time. But hooking the car around here, down this little straight, it was going to be a decent lap, and it was going to be just in front of Perez and behind Verstappen by 4/10, but I was pretty happy with it, to be fair. And that was ourselves into P6, just behind Valtteri Bottas. However, we ended up P13 in the end. We did do a second run out. We couldn't improve. I was actually quite shocked, because we were overtaken by a lot of cars there. And ended up P13. Look at that, Lando, Lewis, all making it through. But yeah, let's get into the cutscene.
And it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell, and Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Norris, and Daniel Ricciardo. Magnussen, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. The engineer, and Albon. Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, and Sebastian Vettel. Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. So here we are in 2022 at the start of another Formula 1 World Championship. It all begins here, the start of the next generation of Formula 1. With the end of the second turbocharged era, a new dawn begins. New regulations have been brought in to promote better racing, with the 2 big standout changes being the wheel size increase and the aerodynamics on the car itself. But will this result in us having a repeat fight for the Driver Championship? Will Mercedes retain their Constructors' title? We have lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Let's hope for some good racing today as well. We can't know at this point how competitive the teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody's able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
So guys, this will be our setup for this. So we went 8 laps with the softs, then onto the mediums. I underfueled the car with about a lap just to be safe. But here we go then, 5 red lights to the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we are underway here. And a pretty decent start from us up against Carlos Sainz, who does have a penalty. But look at that, Alex Albon in the Williams bolting through. Brakes a little early there to make sure we didn't clatter into the back of Magnussen. Very iffy there. There's Sainz and Magnussen tussling a little bit, but we managed to hold P13 ahead of Yuki Tsunoda there down this little straight, looking to attack Kevin Magnussen, the Haas. And we do send it down the inside. A lockup as well from Sainz, so 2 lockups there. But we managed to just sneak ahead of the Haas and behind Sainz. We did eventually overtake Sainz, but here down the straight on that one, we would be vulnerable. Obviously, the straight line speed of Ferrari is much better than us, so really we can't really compete with them in the first GP of the year. I think our competition really is going to be with the backmarker / mid-table. Really, we can't really compete with the top 3 at the moment. But yeah, Sainz re-overtakes us, so we keep P12. A little bit of a send here. We're very close to clattering into the back of him, but we actually have a really good exit out of this corner. Cut the corner a little bit. Do let me know down below if you think I did cut the corner there a little bit. But yeah, that was a really good job by us, and we hold it back round here, and that would be P11 there. So a decent start by us. Already making 2 positions here in lap 2, and here we were here at the end of lap 2 now, and it was going to be Carlos Sainz to re-overtake us, which is a bit of a shame. I think most of this Grand Prix you guys are going to see it's going to be very much a battle with Carlos Sainz for track position, isn't it really? And I think Sainz will be a little bit disappointed, to be fair, to start off the season back down here fighting with us. But yeah, really lovely tussle there with Carlos Sainz. We send it here, and we actually round the outside re-overtake Carlos Sainz. So it just shows we do have a little bit of top end speed to work with, which is definitely a contrast from the My Team cars, of course. Yeah, nice little bit of top end speed with this Alfa Romeo that we can actually work with against the teams like McLaren, like Williams, like Aston Martin, and more. But here we go again down this straight. Sainz again gonna attack us because he got the exit well. One thing I have noticed in this game is DRS is nowhere near as powerful as it was, so I think that's really something that's made a big difference, because we have been definitely in some DRS zones, but it hasn't really meant anything for us anyway. But first people went into the pits here on lap 6, so we would get a bunch of overtakes. Something shocking happened here though. It was yellow flag, and it was Checo Perez here as Magnussen was attacking us. We managed to just defend him. Yeah, Perez parked on the side there. I'm not sure what happened to him. I don't think he ended up retiring either, so did he spin? I'm not sure, and it ended up being a safety car, which we would capitalise on here, and we would actually pit under the safety car alongside Ricardo, Sainz and more here, and managed to slow the car just in time to not get a penalty. And this is going to be the first time trying out the manual pit stops here. Let's see what we can get. I'm aiming for his 0.3, and we actually overshot it, and he ended up getting a 0.2 there, unfortunately. A little bit of an audio glitch actually happened after this, so yeah, little bit of an audio glitch. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, it ended up being quite a little bit of a slow pit stop. We got a 2.0 stop time, but we were paused quite a bit in the pits, unfortunately. But yeah, here we go then, and the safety car was over there to begin lap 9 here with 5 laps left of racing. And here we go then, so Ocon was attacking us. We absolutely sended it here on Magnussen and managed to hook the car around for P10 there already. So yeah, and we capitalised on that. A little bit of a mistake by Pierre Gasly, left him vulnerable to us now. And the Alfa Romeo versus the Alfa Tauri here, the two Alfas fighting. And we actually completed a very nice overtake on Pierre Gasly, which would mean we progress into P9 then, which is quite the improvement from P13. I gotta admit, you know, we've done quite the job here to gain 4 places. And next up would be Lando Norris, and it would take until the final lap of the race here. Let's have a little look at this here. It took us quite a few laps to actually get the braveness to send it here on Lando, and we would hook the car around here on turn 1, and we would actually get the overtake completed with pretty much ease, to be fair. We didn't really have to fight Lando that much for the remaining of this lap, as you'll see. It was a pretty comfortable lap, but I was actually really content with the performance today. P8, I didn't know whether we'd be able to get Alonso. I think the fact Gasly went on to hards, I'm not sure why they opted for hards with, you know, 5 laps left, but I guess they chose the hard compounder tyre for some reason. I'm not sure why. We weren't able to close down on Alonso and Bottas. Bottas in P6 managed to hold his position, probably aided by the Checo Perez incident. A little bit of a send there from Lando, and I think we might have got slight contact with him there, because he actually lost a little bit of time, about a second lost there, Lando. But yeah, to end off this lap, a very decent position on the grid here. Obviously you can see I drain all of the ERS on this last lap. It would be Max Verstappen who wins the first GP of the year, but more importantly for us, Bottas comes home for P6, and ourselves, we come home for a pretty decent P8.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Park Ferme. Team effort then to secure victory here in the desert. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here. Look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Max Verstappen now leads the Drivers' Championship. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Carlos Sainz certainly wasn't someone to scoff about. His ability to follow race strategies throughout with pinpoint precision has to be commended.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. Obviously we are now 4th in the Constructors Championship. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as usual, take care.